to the March 19th meeting of the Development Authority. Can I have a motion, please, approving the minutes of the regular meeting February 19th?
So moved.
Second? Don't all talk at once.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Sean, do we have some money that you want to tell us about?
Morning, everyone. Go over the authority's cash inflows and outflows for the month of February. On your tablets, you should have the detailed listing with the first page being the operating account activity. Thank you, Taylor. As last month, we'll put up on the board the PowerPoint here showing the significant items I'll be covering during the presentation. However, if there's anything on your sheets that I don't go over here, please let me know and I'll get an answer for you. We begin the month over $4.8 million of our operating cash on hand. For your cash receipts, I want to touch on our what we're calling our reimbursements and advances, almost $200,000 coming in. The majority of that, $140,000, is funding we received from the city, from the ComIT department, for the grant, part of the Next Generation Network funding for the connection of some of the work being done down at Corporate Landing between Telefonica and the undersea cables. We also had a drawdown from the amphitheater CIP from the city to then pay for, I'll talk about it, the disbursements, pay back to Live Nation for the work being done out there. And then finally, a smaller portion of that was a reimbursement, was a refund from Live Nation for a canceled event that occurred in last season due to the hurricane that came through. We didn't utilize the box seats for that event, so they refunded us the money for that. So as our cash receipts portions, you also see for lease income for Virginia Beach National, just under $11,000 being collected for 1 month's rent, covering their operations as well as the capital maintenance calculations of rent they have. And then we had a little bit of interest income, over $2,700 for the CDs and savings account the authority maintains. For disbursements, I'm just going to touch upon your engineering fees, over $20,000 in November engineering fees for work being done at Corporate Landing. And then also going to touch upon those Live Nation disbursements. This was a pay it back to them to cover the city's portion of the exterior steel painting and asphalt replacement that was being done out there. So at the end of the month, $4,789,303 in operating funding on hand. Happy to answer any questions anyone has on the operating account. If not, I'll move to the incentive program. Again, covering the month of February, over $2.9 million of incentive cash on hand with the authority. Our loan receipt was interest income being earned on the account. Under cash disbursements, and you'll find a separate table on your third page of your financial packet detailing these award payments. We had just under $40,000 being paid, 3 different awards to SHR Construction, Tidewater Valve and Fitting, and S&S Precision for the capital investment those companies made within the city. So they received some pro rata payments for their awards. Under what we call Part D of the incentive program, we had engineering fees, close to $70,000 being paid to Kimley Horn for 1 month's worth of work for the amphitheater parking, historic Kempsville, some work at Bonnie Road, as well as Princess Anne Commons. And then finally, under our consultants line item, we had the final of the 3 installments for the regional community and development consulting contract the authority had approved previously. So we'll carry over that cash on hand, that $2.8 million of cash. We reconcile our receivables and payables for the inflows and outflows of what happened. So we're estimating the $1,891,843 of available incentive funding at the end of February. I'd be happy to answer any questions anyone has on the incentive program. If not, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And it's wonderful to have it on the screen. Everyone
ma'am.
really enjoys that. The Development Authority welcomes all people to come to our meetings, and we set aside some time at the beginning for anyone who would like to speak on. No? Okay. Well, thank you for coming. Okay, the next, we have removed the request for design criteria for Virginia Beach Limited Partnership.
And-
Okay.
And we'll be back with that, Madam Chair. We just did not have the complete run of materials to show the public, but we'll be back with that next month.
Thank you. And the Development Investment Program for 3 ships.
That's right. We're, number 5, we did not have a completed disclosure in time
Okay.
to go forward today. We'll be back with that next month
Thank
as soon
you.
as we have that file completed.
Thank you.
And there was a name change on number 4.
Okay. We have requests for approval of a resolution to modify the name for an Economic Development Investment Program, Part B, award to Suburban Capital for Hyatt Place at Pembroke, and the new name is Hyatt Place, Pembroke Park. Can I hear a motion? You want to say something about it?
This one is a straightforward name change. As they're moving through design and construction, they're formalizing what is their going to be the name of their operating entity, and they've just asked us to amend the name on this file.
And
Okay.
if I recall correctly, I believe this was a town item. I'm not totally sure.
I'm
Can-
not sure. Is it?
I'm going to abstain.
Thank you.
It doesn't show up, but
Okay,
certainly.
thank you. And so we're going to, what's the next one we're going to?
So we need to vote on this one.
Motion.
A
Taylor,
motion?
all of the principles are the same. This is just simply name change.
Straight name change.
Okay.
Here, a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. So what is the next one, Ted?
Item number 4 is where we are.
Okay. I'm sorry, but we have so many changes today. Request for approval of resolution to modify, we just did that one, Taylor.
Oh, we didn't vote.
We
So
did
on-
vote.
On 4, oh, sorry, number 2 on your agenda. My mistake.
I'm sorry.
My sorry.
Okay, it's a request for approval of a resolution authorizing a $45,000 in Economic Development Investment Program, Part A, to Virginia Beach Limited Partnership, Point One Holdings.
Okay.
Thank you. You said that was 4.
I'm
Good
sorry.
morning,
you're right.
Madam Chair and members of the board. This morning, I'm present to you EDIP recommendation for Point One USA. Going to start with the disclosures. The president is Robert Brush. Point One USA CFO is Michelle Glasscock. Architect and engineer is Lamotte Architects. Real estate broker is Bobby Beasley Jr. Construction contractor is CL Pincus Jr. and Company, and banking institution is Town Bank. The project summary is that the business owners are looking to move to 2809 Crusader Circle, relocating from Taylor Farm Road, going from 11,800 square feet to 20,000 square feet. This new location is going to be mainly for storage, warehouse, and distribution. And the easement compliance has been approved by the Navy. The recommendation is Part A for $45,000. The target industry sector is advanced manufacturing and defense. The capital investment overall is $1.5 million. This comprised of $1.25 for real estate, machinery, and tools, $50,000, and FF&E, $200,000. Relocating will create 15 new full-time employees. They currently have 36. The average wage for the employees would be $65,000. This is 2809 Crusader Circle, just an aerial. This is the site plan. And just a little about the company. Point One is an advanced training solutions for military and law enforcement professionals in the 4 areas noted up here. They are headquartered in Virginia Beach. They do have a second location on the West Coast in San Diego. The new property will be used for manufacturing, warehousing, and packaging to support product sales of the training aids, and is to, and also, again, it's been approved by the Navy, and they do have an outstanding EDIP grant, which would be closed off effective as of this meeting. Again, the request is for $45,000, Part A of the policy. Also, the site plan and design criteria that was mentioned earlier will be presented at the next board meeting. It is under review. Any questions?
Is there a motion? Okay,
It's a town item, so I'm gonna abstain.
thank you. Second, motion?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you very much.
Thank
As you
you.
can see, we've had some changes, and you want to talk about that real quickly and before we go to the next
Sure.
one?
Thank you, Madam
Okay.
Chair. So, this was the first month that we published your agenda in advance. And so, in the past, as it wasn't publicly posted and advertised, if there were changes that came in sort of in the day leading up to the meeting, we would just put a clean agenda at the table. Now that we're publishing an agenda, this week we published on Friday. Our goal is to start publishing on the Thursday before every meeting, and then to also add the presentations and packet items in the next month as well. So just know that once the agenda is published, it's published, and so there's no opportunity for us to take it down and change it once we've put it up for everyone to see. So we are working there are a number of new processes. We're working closely with the attorney's office to try to be nimble in the sense that we want to allow our applicants the longest possible opportunity to get disclosures in ahead of the meeting. The other issue, though, is I have heard loud and clear from the attorneys that we can't present anything to you that does not have a full run of disclosures, so that again we can know when abstentions are necessary. So thank you for bearing with us this month. We'll amend this policy a bit more and be better in April still.
And we won't have a meeting quite this brief, probably again, okay?
That's right.
Number 5 is request for approval of resolution authorizing $35,000 in Economic Development Investment Program Part A to World Distribution Services for new jobs. Ray?
Oh,
Yeah.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the authority. I'm Lloyd Jackson. I'll be presenting this. This is a request for EDIP recommendation for World Distribution Services. The disclosures of World Distribution Services CFO is John Hunger. World Distribution Services Regional Director is Dave Hertvik. Their warehouse and distribution director is Dale Young. And Dale, would you raise your hand, please? Banking institution is PNC Bank. Legal is Ulmer and Bernie, and real estate CB Richard Ellis. Disclosures for the owner. Owner is Langerfield Commonwealth. HBA is the architect. RRMM is the construction company. VHB and Pace Collaborative, the engineers. The accounting and financing is State Bank. Legal, Trotman and Sanders, and real estate is Colliers. About the project, they're hoping to locate at 1537 Air Rail Road. That's the former Etna Wire building. Currently is the largest unoccupied building in the city. Highlights, they will be expanding from 180,000 square feet to 320,000 square feet. Storage and warehouse distribution, provide service to border customer mix. Request is a Part A, $35,000 grant based on criteria C of the EDIP policy, $2,000 of EDIP funds per one new full-time employee. The target sector is maritime and logistics. Investment, the renovation cost is about $6 million. Machinery and tools, $125,000. FF&E, $100,000. So the total would be a little over $6 million. Create 35 new jobs to Virginia Beach with an average annual salary of $40,000. This is a site where this is an airport industrial park, the former Aetna Wire building, where they're looking to relocate. A little bit about the company. World Distribution Services is a leading provider of creative, best-in-class logistics solutions. Area of expertise is international and domestic warehousing, distribution services, local and national transportation services. Headquartered in Cleveland, Ohio, they have 10 strategic warehousing locations across the United States. Currently, again, they occupy 180,000 square feet in the region and looking to move to Virginia Beach. So just to recap, the request is to approve a resolution granting $35,000 in EDIP funds, Part A funds to WDS for new jobs.
Really exciting, thank you. Would you like to say a few words about your business?
Sure. We're very excited to be here, looking forward to Virginia Beach. It's a large investment for us, doubling the size of our operation locally, so coming into Virginia Beach, it's an exciting time for us. So
Thank you, we welcome you. Let's see. Do you have any report there?
We need a motion and a vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. Motion, please. It's kind of a screwed up meeting.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
I'm sorry, we didn't get that. Who was the motion?
Mr. Coffey and Ms. Mercer.
Thank you.
Okay, now,
Your report and mine, yeah.
I have nothing. to
Okay,
say.
can I borrow that back? I've got my notes on it. Thank you.
I need the thing to call the meeting.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A few things that are going on. First, the Virginia Beach Bio Challenge is wrapping up. We have a winner's reception that's going to be hosted by Williams Mullen on March 25th. One thing to note about that, Williams Mullen was a sponsor of a portion of the challenge. They contracted directly with Rosemary. What's Rosemary's surname?
Truman.
That's right. Who ran the challenge for us? She was a sponsor of the event for them, and they are sponsoring the reception for our winners. There was a question that came through related to whether they sponsored the entire Bio Challenge. They did not. Just they sponsored this reception. We'll also have something forthcoming for the winners here in the office once the announcement is made. The memorandum of understanding for the National Institute of Health conference is working through, basically near completion, and that conference, just as a reminder, is scheduled for October 28th through the 30th of this year at the Convention Center. The State of the City address is tomorrow. Thank you to a quick thanks to members of the authority that will be joining us at that event. There was an Opportunity Zone presentation at Zyder's American Dream Theater about 3.5 weeks ago. We had 75, in the neighborhood of 75 participants join us for that event, and the feedback on that has been very positive. I want to say a quick thanks to the folks in SGA, specifically Kathy Warren and her team for their assistance and really leadership on that event. Thank you. Our GrowSmart division, which, as you all know, is part of our workforce effort, had Read Across America Day Friday before last, where again, a few of you helped us in reading at Head Starts and preschools around the and elementary schools around the city. Thank you for that. That was again this year we gave out 6,000 in the neighborhood, maybe 300 less than 6,000, but in the neighborhood of 6,000 copies of Pharrell's book Happy, and again, a great event, and appreciate his support for that event. The last thing for me to mention is, well, give it to Ron for. Did you want to say something about something in the water?
Well, I've got one request, or just basically a head nod, perhaps, that we could handle this administratively. Something in the Water Festival is working through their satellite parking logistics. They're nailing that down the next week or so, and as you know, we own London Bridge Commerce Park, and that is one of the sites that may potentially be needed for satellite shuttling. With your permission, it would just, if we are able to work that out administratively, if they request that, I would just ask that we have the ability to do that, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Is there any objection to that? We don't need a formal vote, or do we?
No. Then I'd also, Madam Chair, like to introduce the city's new planning director.
Oh, great. That's great.
Bobby Tahan. Bobby is a native of Virginia Beach, a Tallwood High graduate, Norfolk State, Old Dominion University. He is a leading planning expert in the world of stormwater and sea level rise, and we were happy to have Bobby return to Norfolk and start last week as our planning director.
Thank you.
Virginia Beach.
This is really a messed up.
We stole him from Norfolk.
Yeah, to go on with our Norfolk agenda.
And so,
I apologize.
a couple more quick things. Tonight at City Council, there'll be consideration of two items that relate to sort of work that we are doing here. One is the revision and update to the EDIP policy. That was briefed last week and is on the agenda for consideration by council tonight. The only reason, the most important I think thing to mention about the improved, or I would say updated, the EDIP procedure and policy is that that will complete our sort of work through of the recommendations that came from the city auditor back in November. So there were 12 recommendations in that audit. 6 of them are contained within this policy. These updates will satisfy the final 6, and we can check that work off as done and carry on to the next piece. Other thing, City Council will also consider a sale of excess property tonight for construction of a hotel in the Princess Anne corridor that will be accompanied by a proposed 4,500 to 5,500 square foot restaurant to be built on an out parcel. That's a sale of real estate at the appraised value of $578,000 per acre. It's a 4-acre site, so just less than 2.3, just less than 2.3 million. Add in the cost of the development of the hotel and the restaurant, and we anticipate give or take 14.5 million in new investment being made in the city on this parcel, and so we're very excited for City Council to consider that tonight. The last thing relates to speaker policy. So just so that we can move through our documentation of what might be a formal speaker policy, Madam Chair, if with your permission, I'd like to ask: is everyone agreeable to a speaker policy that would allow 3 minutes per speaker at the beginning of each meeting?
This is something new for us, but we were asked by some of the council members
right.
to do this. Yes.
Would that 3 minutes be limited to agenda items, or would it be open comments?
I don't think so.
So I don't know that we contemplated that, but we could certainly limit it to agenda items.
Is that what it should be? I think, yeah.
I think that's a reasonable edit.
I think that would be helpful. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I did get a notice if anyone wanted to volunteer for something in the water. I'll get you the information if you want to go down to the beach and volunteer. Closed session?
So we do, and so the 3 items that Alex marked are here, here, and there.
Thank you. The chair will entertain a motion to recess into closed session pursuant to the exemptions from open meeting allowed by 2.2-3711 Code of Virginia as amended for the following purposes. Publicly held property. Discussion or consideration of the acquisition of real property for a public purpose, or of the disposition of publicly held real property where discussion in open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A3. Prospective business or industry. Discussion concerning a prospective business or industry or the expansion of an existing business where no previous announcement has been made of the business or industry's interest in locating or expanding its facilities in the community pursuant to Virginia Code 2.2-3711A5. Contracts. Discussion of the award of a public contract involving the expenditure of public funds, including interviews of bidders and discussion of the terms and scope of such contract, where discussion in an open session would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body, pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A30. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
William Brunke,
Yes.
Brian Duffy,
Yes.
Taylor Franklin,
Yes.
Penny Morgan,
Yes.
Peter Mueller,
Yes.
Lisa Murphy,
Yes.
Charles Clay,
Yes.
Dot Wood.
Yes. Okay. Thank you all for coming. Look forward to seeing you next month. There'll be a little more organizing.